I think now going forward with the focus and the spotlight on these two groups of people specifically, I think the world is going to appreciate them more.
Mhm.
And I think the world is going to say that, you know what? They are important. They are valuable. Do you see that continuing to happen and there being this newfound respect? Not to say that there wasn't a respect, but even more respect for things that you do and what you bring to the table.
Yes, and I see that also being coupled with what's really important in life. You really don't have anything if you don't have your health. You really don't have anything if you don't have the right mindset, you know? And so, um, I think people a lot of the distractions in life, a lot of the things that we deem to be important and valuable have gone to the wayside as we've really focused in on the things that are truly valuable in life. And in addition to that, you know, relationships, kind of like that relationship with adult to child, whether it's parent to child or teacher to child. But I think relationships have become so valuable, and we really want to make the time together more meaningful. And we really are being more, I think, considerate of our interactions with other people because it is so limited. And we, you know, again, we took that for granted before. And now it's like, you know, we're just so happy to be together and to have communication with each other. Um, so, yeah, I definitely think there's some big shifts here in terms of priorities, what's really important in the world. And with that, there has been a greater sense of appreciation. I mean, honestly, I've always felt very appreciated as an educator. I know that in the grand scheme that not a lot do, but I've had a lot of families where, you know, I've become a part of their family and they're just so thankful, even, you know, as a classroom teacher and as a tutor. And part of why I tutored back when I was a classroom teacher is there is an immediate gratification to it that you don't always get in the classroom. You get that aha moment with the kids in real time. And so I do get a lot of feedback where, you know, on a daily, that, you know, I am appreciated, I am valued. So I'm thankful for that. But I do think on the large scale, people are starting to recognize that this is a lot harder than it looks and appreciating the effort that goes into it.
Are there any experiences from your own life, maybe when you're a child or a teenager or as an adult now, that you pull from to help
Mhm.
you in your tutoring and to help you with your two businesses when you're dealing with the children?
Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, and I've done a lot of reflecting on that. You know, how did I get here? I was a quote unquote behavior problem. I had a lot of anxiety. I had some family issues, and I almost feel like, and I see this with a lot of our students that have really high IQs, but then their grades don't reflect it, that I was almost like bored with what was going on in the classroom or frustrated that they weren't doing it better. Um, and I had a lot of teachers that saw through that and took the extra time with me, whether it was sitting after school or before school or even during the class, but really showed me that they saw who I was and wanted to go the extra mile to whether it was giving me an extra puzzle to keep me busy or, you know, just talking to me. Some would bring me books. Just little things to show that, you know, I wasn't getting lost in all of that. And they knew I wasn't a quote unquote, again, bad kid or bad person. That was really meaningful to me. And I definitely have sought to be that kind of person for my often misunderstood students, which is mostly what we end up working with when they come seeking tutoring. And then even in my life, there were times where I made choices that felt right for me that people around me weren't a big fan of. And I realized, luckily at the time, that it was kind of their own doubts and their own worries they were projecting on me, and I went with it anyway. I mean, even the nonprofit, you know, I've had some people are like, "Are you sure? Like, this is a lot." And I'm like, if I feel it in my heart, and I almost, I don't know if you want to call it intuition or what it is, but if I know it's right for me, I have now the confidence to go for it because of experiences I've had in my life where there's times I've done things that other people suggested I did, but I didn't feel it and it didn't work out. Then the ones that I was in it and I will till tooth and nail fight to make this thing work, it works out. Even the business now, I had a lot of my competitors, my tutoring competitors, close their doors because they didn't make it through the pandemic. we're rocking it. I mean, we're doing way better than I've done any previous year because I was like, I'm not letting this go. This is my baby. I will put my head down and I'm going to fight for this. And I think that is from life experiences of other times where I knew that if I really cared and I really put the effort into it, it was going to work. And that in alone helps you build the resiliency, it helps you build the confidence, and then you just keep pushing through. And I'm thankful for it.
That's amazing. I'm glad that you actually kept going and pushed through because just speaking to you now, I can hear the passion. I can feel the passion. This is something that you love.
Hmm. I do. And it was hard. 2020 was hard. It was very scary for a lot of reasons, but I'm glad I did too because I do. I love it. I couldn't imagine doing anything else.
Do you sometimes look back, and this is just me trying to piece it together as I hear your story, especially how you were viewed as a problem child or something along those lines? Do you sometimes see yourself in some of the kids that you help?
Oh my gosh, yes. And I think that that helps. Um, I've had focus issues. I've had motivation issues. A lot of these things you hear where kids are being labeled as lazy or apathetic or unmotivated. These are things that were kind of put on me at certain points in my life. And I've learned through my experiences personally and also in working with students that if you're seeing this on the outside, it's a symptom of something else. And the something else I can fix. We can work on motivation by doing all these other things. We can work on procrastination by doing these other things. A lot of it is just these kids need to be provided the tools of how to do these things. And a lot of it comes down to brain development, and they're just not at a point where they have the brain power to come up with the solutions on their own. So we lay the foundation for them, and then they just skyrocket from there. So I think the fact that I was labeled many times and not always bad labels. Like I was even labeled, the reason why I went to school originally for biomedical engineering is because I was labeled a math and science kid in high school. That's what you're good at, Lindsay, math and science. And so I kind of locked in on that, where I never even was able to explore any other career fields because that was what I was told to do. And that's what I was told I was good at. And yes, I mean, those are probably even now, my favorite subjects to tutor, but that doesn't mean I have to be this one type of person. So the labeling side, I think there's sometimes goods of having, certain labels, but for the most part, I really see those kids who have been labeled some way and try to go beyond what that word is and figure out who they really are.